You know, there's something powerful about being the best dressed man in the room. Heads turn, doors open, and compliments flow like the finest Scotch. But here's the thing no one tells you. Being a well-dressed man isn't all champagne and cufflinks. With great style comes great hardships. This may seem a bit out of the ordinary, but I feel that it has to be discussed. Let's pull back the tailored curtain and explore the unexpected challenges that come with looking sharp. You ready? Let's go. Number 1, the price tag nobody warns you about. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Cost. That sleek double-breasted suit? Yeah, it's going to set you back a pretty penny. As you dive deeper into the world of fashion, you'll start to notice that your taste becomes a little more expensive. Suddenly, that $40 off-the-rack shirt just doesn't cut it anymore. You find yourself eyeing higher-end brands, custom tailoring, and luxury fabrics. Upgrades don't come cheap. Believe me, I know. But don't let the price tag scare you off. Dressing well doesn't have to break the bank. You can look sharp while sticking to a budget. For starters, consider shopping for pre-used clothing. Some of it's barely used. Look for these online. You can have them dry cleaned and they'll be as good as new. You'd be surprised at the gems you can find if you're willing to hunt a little. Another strategy is to be mindful of how you allocate your budget. Setting aside a portion of your income, say around 10% specifically for clothing, can help you build your wardrobe without feeling the financial strain. So yes, dressing well can be costly, but with a little creativity and planning, you can look your best without breaking the bank. Number 2, the time commitment. Looking this good also takes work and time. Finding the right pieces, matching them together, and making sure that everything is tailored to perfection, that's practically a part-time job. And don't even get me started on maintenance. Dry cleaning, ironing, polishing shoes, it all adds up. You'll quickly realize that you're spending more time getting ready than actually enjoying the events you're dressing up for. Your friends might give you grief for taking too long to get ready, but they don't understand the struggle of making sure every detail is on point. Number 3, the pressure to always be on point. Once you've established yourself as the guy who always looks good, there's no turning back. You've set the bar high. And now, whether you're heading to a black tie event or just grabbing coffee, the expectations are there. And that means no off days. You can't just throw on sweats and call it a day because, let's face it, people will notice. You've become a walking advertisement for your own style, and the pressure to consistently live up to that image is real. It's flattering, sure, but it can also be exhausting. Number 4, the double-edged sword of attention. Dressing well is like having a spotlight on you at all times. It guarantees attention, but not all of it is the kind you want. Sure, you'll get the admiring glances and the compliments that boost your confidence, but with that comes the other side of the coin. The envious stares, the judgmental looks, and the occasional snide remark. Some people might perceive your style as a threat, or assume you're trying too hard. It's a strange irony that the effort you put into looking good can sometimes make others uncomfortable, or lead them to label you as superficial or arrogant. And let's be real, no one enjoys being judged just because they care about their appearance. Then there's the assumption that just because you're well-dressed, you must be rolling in dough or wildly successful. It's a stereotype that can lead to some pretty awkward situations. Ever have someone ask you for investment advice just because you're wearing a nice watch? Or maybe they start dropping hints about how much your outfit must have cost, assuming you're living the high life. It's like suddenly your clothes have made you an expert on all things financial. The reality is that dressing well can attract both positive and negative attention, and navigating that fine line isn't always easy. The only advice I have for you here is to stay true to your style while also being aware of the perceptions it might create. At the end of the day, it's about finding a balance, enjoying the confidence that comes with being well-dressed, while not letting the attention, good or bad, define who you are. Number 5, the isolation of style. Here's one you might not have expected: isolation. When you're always the best-dressed person in the room, it can create a subtle distance between you and others. People might feel intimidated or assume that you're unapproachable. And then before you know it, you're the guy standing alone at the party, wondering why no one's striking up a conversation. Being well-dressed can sometimes make it harder to connect with people, especially if they feel like they can't relate to your level of style. It's an unspoken barrier that can leave you feeling a bit out of place, even when you're dressed perfectly for the occasion. Number 6, the burden of too many compliments. Looking good. Very handsome. What a guy. As flattering as it sounds, doesn't it get overwhelming to hear those things constantly? Sure, it's great for the ego, but after a while it starts to feel like an uphill battle just to stay grounded. The truth is that receiving compliments can be exhausting. You're constantly deflecting or diverting attention, trying to keep your feet on the ground. You can't help but feel the pressure to maintain a humble persona, making sure your smiles look sincere and your thank you or thank yous are heartfelt. And heaven forbid you slip up and say, "I know, right?" without an ounce of arrogance, because the social consequences of that are real. It's like you've been thrust into the role of a public relations manager for your own image. You're always on, always aware of how you're perceived, making sure that you don't come across as too self-assured. It's a delicate balance between accepting the praise and not letting it go to your head. So while it might seem like a dream to be showered with compliments all day, every day, it is a burden that takes some real effort to manage gracefully. Number 7, the influence of social media. In today's world, social media is a major player when it comes to shaping how we perceive style. As a well-dressed man, you might feel the urge to document your outfits, share them online, and stay ahead of the curve with the latest trends. It is an incredible platform to showcase your style, connect with like-minded individuals, and draw inspiration from others. But on the flip side, social media also creates unrealistic standards. The constant barrage of picture-perfect outfits can make you feel like you need to constantly refresh your wardrobe to keep up. There's also the pressure to present an image that aligns with your online persona. It can feel like you're stuck in a cycle of keeping up appearances, where you're more focused on what others think of your style rather than what actually makes you feel good. The key is to remember that social media is just a highlight reel. It's okay not to have a new outfit for every post. And number 8, the impact on relationships. Dressing well doesn't just affect how you're perceived in public, it also has a ripple effect on your personal relationships, both for better and for worse. On the plus side, your sharp style is likely to draw admiration from those around you. Friends and acquaintances may turn to you for fashion advice, and there's something undeniably gratifying about being the go-to guy for style tips. But here's the flip side. Your polished appearance can sometimes overshadow your personality. People might get so caught up in your style that they overlook who you are beyond the clothes. It can be frustrating when others focus more on what you're wearing than on what you're saying. The attention to your outward appearance can sometimes create a barrier, and this makes it harder for people to connect with the real you. Sure, your partner might love that you always look put together, but it can also lead to moments of tension. They might feel pressure to keep up with your level of style, or worry that your polished image is overshadowing theirs. There's also the risk of your style being perceived as too showy, which could cause discomfort or jealousy in the relationship. Striking a balance between expressing yourself through fashion and making sure that your personality shines through is key. After all, the most meaningful connections are built on who you are, not just what you wear. At the end of the day, being a well-dressed man is both a privilege and a responsibility. It comes with its own set of challenges, but the rewards, confidence, respect, and the joy of expressing yourself through fashion are well worth it. And that's all for today. So how are you going to try and balance this responsibility? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to respond to every single one. Like and subscribe if you love elegance and gentlemanly conduct. And if you don't subscribe, well, it means I'll just have to wait another day to onboard you. Thanks for joining me. Now, go out there and own your style, thorns and all.